This very fun Lord Krishna praise. May always love Shri Radha and Govinda. Tulsi Maharani ki jai. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Second time. Okay, everybody's in for more than second time. Okay. So on behalf of Iskcon, I'd like to welcome you all for the Sunday Love Feast. So today we have our speaker, His Grace Goparaj, Prabhu.Everyone. Goparaj is the direct disciple of His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj. And today the Sunday feast is also sponsored by the disciples of His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj. Because of the Vyasa Puja we had Ekadashi 19th April, but today we are doing actually feast for the Vyasa Puja. So everybody, because all the disciples and all the devotees to honor the feast on behalf of Guru Maharaj and the disciples. So please be with us and let's welcome Goparaj by chanting one time Hare Krishna loudly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And after the lecture is over, we'll have more kirtan, and then there will be a honor. We'll be honoring the Sunday feast sponsor, and then there will be more announcement. Then there will be Mahaprasad everyone. Hare Krishna.
Yashoda Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna. Again, welcome. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Vanchikapatarubhyascha kripasinti devata patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasari Gaura Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam Dharti Vachana Brahman Mandayate Verim Bhakti Patamah Mande Sri Guru Om Tat Sat. So today's topic is concerning the avatar of Varaha. And we will start in the second canto, where it's basically first mentioned. Second canto, chapter 7, text number 1, will introduce us to this topic on Lord Varaha. Brahmo vacha yatro yata shitti talo dharanaya bibrat korundim tanu sakla yagna mahimananta antar maharnava upagatam adidaitam tam dam shra yadrim iva rajadaro dadara. The translation by Srila Prabhupada. Lord Brahma said, when the unlimited powerful Lord assumed the form of a boar as a pastime just to lift the planet Earth, which was drowned in the great ocean of the universe called the Garbhodak, the first demon, Hiranyaksha, appeared, and the Lord pierced him with his tusk. So this is our first understanding of Lord Varaha coming. Srila Prabhupada explains in this purport, since the beginning of creation, the demons and the demigods, or the Vaishnavas, are always the two classes of living beings to dominate the planets of the universe. Lord Brahma is the first demigod, and Hiranyaksha is the first demon in this universe. Only under certain conditions do the planets float as weightless balls in the air. And as soon as these conditions are disturbed, the planets may fall down into the Garbhodaka ocean, which covers half the universe. The other half is the spherical dome within which the innumerable planetary systems exist. The floating of the planets in the weightless air is due to the inner constitution of the globes, and the modernized drilling of the earth to exploit oil from within it is a sort of disturbance by the modern demons and can result in greatly harmful reaction to the floating condition of the earth. A similar disturbance was created formerly by the demons headed by Hiranyaksha, the great exploiter of the gold rush. Srila Prabhupada has amazing sense of humor. And the earth was detached from its weightless condition and fell down into the Garbhodaka ocean. The Lord, as maintainer of the whole creation of the material world, therefore assumed the gigantic form of a boar with a proportionate snout and picked up the earth from within the water of Garbhodaka. Sri Jayadeva Goswami, the great Vaishnava poet, sang the following song. O Keshava, O O Supreme Lord, other things. O Keshava, O Supreme Lord, who have assumed the form of a boar. O Lord, the planet Earth rested on your tusks, and it appeared like the moon engraved with spots. Such is the symptom of an incarnation of the Lord. The incarnation of the Lord is not the concocted idea of fanciful men who create an incarnation out of imagination. The incarnation of the Lord appears under certain extraordinary circumstances, like the above-mentioned occasion. And the incarnation performs a task which is not even imaginable by the tiny brain of mankind. The modern creators of the many cheap incarnations may take note of the factual incarnation of God as the gigantic boar with a suitable snout to carry the planet Earth. So this is amazing. I'm sure most of you see this also as amazing. And the tendency is to just hear this as something that happened a long time ago, not relevant to me. You know, what's the use? That kind of attitude could easily overtake any one of us. So we have to have a deep understanding of what this Srimad Bhagavatam is. So I'm going to just go to the first canto where Srila Vedavyasa began this, and I'm going to just quote the first verse, which in itself is very amazing. But we have to understand what Srimad Bhagavatam is and not fall into the illusory side of so-called material intelligence. Translation of this verse by Srila Prabhupada. O my Lord Sri Krishna, Son of Vasudeva, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisance unto you. I meditate upon Lord Sri Krishna because He is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of the creation, sustenance, and destruction of the manifested universes. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations, and He is independent because there is no other cause beyond Him. It is He only who first imparted the Vedic knowledge to the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. By Him, even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion, as one is bewildered by the illusory representations of water seen in fire or land seen on water. Only because of Him do the material universes, temporarily manifested by the reactions of the three modes of nature, appear factual, although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon Him, Lord Sri Krishna, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is ever free from the illusory representations of the material world. I meditate upon Him, for He is the absolute truth. So those of you who are still with me can attest that this is amazing. This is one verse, Srila Vedavyasa introduction to Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is not an ordinary book that you go to the library or bookstore to get some way and just read it and become intrigued. It's much more than that. And you can tell from this introductory verse, this shloka, if we had time to study it, which would take weeks, months, really to understand everything that's being brought out here. But the unique thing about it is within the span of that one verse is like a mini summarization of the Bhagavatam. It's like a compact essence. It gives such deep insight to what he's talking about. We're going to go to one other verse here in the first canto that Vedavyasa gives us. And just reading the translation It's a long verse in prose. Quote, completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated, this Bhagavad Purana propounds the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in heart. The highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. It would be good for us to memorize that one sentence, because people will often debate, what is truth, what is this, what is that? Here Srila Prabhupada gives us in this translation of the second verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, delivered by Veda Vyasadeva, that quote, the highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. This beautiful Bhagavatam, compiled by the great sage Vyasadeva in his maturity, is sufficient in itself for God realization. What is the need of any other scripture? As soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of Bhagavatam by the culture of knowledge, the Supreme Lord is established within his heart. So that's the second verse, which clearly shows what his motivation is and what our focus should be. Getting to what is the highest truth in this world. Otherwise, we can spend many lifetimes endeavoring in many outfits. We call them bodies. You can endeavor in so many bodies looking for that truth. That's what everybody's looking for. You might say, well, what about the animals in the jungle? Are they looking for that truth? Yeah. But how? They're very limited. How are they looking for it? There's 4 things they can do. Eat, sleep, mate, and defend. But why are they doing it? They want the truth. They want to survive. They want to go on. So the only species, as we know, that can actually deliberate on those 4 activities and control them are the human beings. So the human being should reject anything that is actually materially motivated. So I can hear it now, everybody saying, but Prabhu, this is Kali Yuga. There's so many things. Yeah, you're totally right. There are so many things. But why did Lord Chaitanya come here? Very simple. What did he do? He distributed what? Maha-mantra. We can all feast on it continuously. And that is so potent that even an insignificant speck like yours truly happens to be sitting here. How else could I be here if it wasn't for the mercy of Gaura? I couldn't. So we have to take the Bhagavatam extremely serious. You might think I'm exaggerating, but in the Kali Yuga, we have to emphasize certain things. Naschela, 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 gatir anyata. We have to emphasize it because the brain is thinking other things. No, when I get my next house, I'll be more peaceful and I'll be able to go to the temple and do some little seva. When I get my next nice, I got a car now, but when I get my next real nice car, then I can drive up in peace and show it to everybody. So this is the mind. Of course, I'm deliberately trying to imitate the mind, but believe me, every day the mind is with us. And the mind is material. And the mind is the seat of thinking. The mind is the seat of where all these thoughts come. And all these thoughts are again in that same situation where we're exposed to what? The three, Srila Prabhupada said it, the threefold miseries. They are everywhere. Everywhere you go. The only place you can avoid them is actually in the association of devotees, in the temple, in your home is a temple. You can have deities You can have a picture even of the deities, and your home becomes a temple. It's not complex. And so you can avoid what is happening in the Kali Yuga. The Kali Yuga is now 5,500 and how many more? 40? 42? 42? This Gorbanima was what?
50.
Anyway, you can see where we are. We're not deep into the Kali Yuga yet. How many years in the Kali Yuga?
5,000.
Who remembers?
5,000.
432,000.
438. 438,000. Wow, I'm going to be pretty old. Probably get some gray hair up there by then. I'm not going to be in this body, my friends. I'm afraid to say this, and I don't mean anything negative, but I doubt if anybody here in this room in 400,000 years is going to be in the same body. They wear out. Bound to get another one. So that's why Veda Vyasadeva starts out this way. Uproot the threefold miseries. If you don't uproot it, it's going to be there. If you have a bad toothache and you discover the tooth is too bad to even save, but you just go on. Every day what do you have to do? You have to do something about it. You got to have that tooth extracted. Otherwise, it's going to spread even to maybe another tooth, another area. So you got to uproot these threefold miseries. And that is what Srila Veda Vyasadeva is after with this entire 12 cantos. It's amazing. So I can't emphasize how much the Bhagavatam is important to us. But I'm just going to share a quote from Bhaktisiddhanta. And we know Srila Prabhupada's Guru Maharaj. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, what is he saying about Srimad Bhagavatam? There is no other book in the world like the Srimad Bhagavatam. This is not mere tittle-tattle, nor an exaggerated homage. If one reflects on it as a truly impartial judge, one will realize that there has not been any book like the Bhagavatam, nor will there be any. In this book has been presented a consideration of gradual evolution, from better to better, of the skeptics, atheists, attributeless, the neuters, the masculine, the couple, the consort by marriage, lastly, that of the paramour love of the gopis, such different conceptions. Sri Krishna's sports are described in the 10th canto, but what was the necessity of composing the preceding 9 cantos? In them have been shown the deliberations of these conceptions to prepare the ground for introducing the main subject, that is the descriptions of Krishna's transcendental sportive dalliances with the gopis of Vraja. So, of course, he goes on, and this description is just like 2 pages. He's talking about Srimad Bhagavatam. But I read this so we get a little idea how serious this is, what this Bhagavatam is. He says there's no other book like it. It's not like your regular book, nor will there ever be. It's eternal. Why? Because it's like Krishna. It is Krishna himself. So it's difficult for us to pick up, because in this world we can read so many books, but the book is not the thing we're reading about. How many novels, how many textbooks did you read in school? From history to psychology to physics to whatever. You read so many books, but the book is not the thing. They're trying to convey something. In this case, Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna, which means we're in the presence of Krishna if we try even to study it. You don't have to have a preliminary degree to start studying it. There's no requirement. Lord Chaitanya didn't require anything. Even Krishna required some commitment in Bhagavad Gita, but Lord Chaitanya didn't require anything to actually get started. So we have to take this Bhagavatam in that light. Right now I'm going to go on with our main subject matter, which is coming actually from the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Status Quo. We're going to hear more of Sri Varaha. Maitreya Uvacha Parameshti Tu Apamadye Tata Sanam Avekshagam Katam Enam Sanmunesya Tidadyo Diya Chiram. Sri Maitreya said, thus seeing the earth merged in water, Brahma gave his attention for a long time how it could be lifted. Purport, very short purport. According to Jiva Goswami, the topics delineated here are of different millenniums. The present topic are of the Sweta Varaha millennium. The topics regarding Chakshusha millennium will also be discussed in this chapter. So in other words, there are actually two appearances of Varaha, Sri Varaha, in different millenniums. But here, Vedavyasade and Sutta Goswami also, when he narrates, they kind of condense certain things. But Srila Prabhupada here begins by quoting that this is two subjects, and he takes it on the authority of whom? Jiva Goswami. So we know that it's authentic. So what has happened is that the earth has become submerged in the Garbhodaka. I'm going to read just another short quote because we see that in this day and age, if science doesn't touch on something, most people don't want to deal with it. So this is a very interesting book for those of you who think like-minded. The Big Bang and the Sages. It's a compilation of information from a scientific perspective about the entire cosmos. It's a very nicely put together work. They're just talking about the Puranas and lifestyles, the lifespan. As we hear these numbers, and to us it's amazing, to anybody that hears it, that is amazing. But when we look at the world and how long the world we know has existed, we can get some calculation. And that's what the scientists like to do. So this is the physics of million-year Puranic lifespans. According to the Puranas, many sages and progenitors, such as Brahma and Daksha, have lifespans of millions, even hundreds of millions of years. The prominent early 20th century Indiologist, Mr. E.F. Parjitar, dismissed this as ludicrous fancy, and most Indiologists agree with him, but they fail to consider the possibility that Puranic sages and progenitors reside on lokas where time runs on a much slower rate than in the Bhumandala, which is Earth. According to Einstein's general theory of relativity, time runs slower in a strong gravitational field than in a weak gravitational field. The general theology of relativity predicts that the two identical, highly accurate atomic clocks placed at the top and bottom of a tall building run at different times. The clock at the top runs faster than the clock on the bottom. This has been experimentally confirmed by modern physics laboratories. The kind of time dilation is induced by a gravitational field. So, what on earth am I talking about? Or maybe you probably know about more than me. But what are we talking about here? The time span. Bhagavatam sometimes mention things that happened a long time ago, sometimes things that are pretty much current. So we have to understand this is not a historical narrative of day-by-day events. Nothing to do like that. It's not like our general history books. Srimad Bhagavatam is producing the essence. So the essence, we're getting it right here in the third canto because we're understanding Krishna's appearance as Varaha. So as we've heard in modern times, if some so-called scientist hears this, they try to dismiss it. And they try to make you or me look like a complete idiot if you believe in a fantasy. This is not fantasy. So just the idea that time is different in other places, they will consent to that because they themselves have already shown that if you have a clock on top of the Empire State Building, it has a certain time, and if you're down on the ground on the sidewalk, same day and time, that clock has a different time. Time is relative. This is what so-called Mr. Einstein was getting at, that the relativity of the world we live in. Every relative, one thing relates to another. One thing affects another. So we're in this relative world. And as we mentioned just shortly before, these three modes of material nature affect us daily. You can't wake up one morning and say, I'm outside of the modes. I'm not going to be affected. Unless you're sincerely chanting, you can do it. You can do it. I got faith in you. But really, in the real world, people cannot go outside of it. They try so many things. But Krishna has arranged these three modes. And the Bhagavatam goes in depth on how this happens when he starts to explain about the manifestations. We've heard, first that Lord Brahma is on this giant lotus flower sitting in the navel of Mahavishnu. But it's broken down. There are different aspects of Mahavishnu. And he further expands into Shirodakshaya Vishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and each one of them have their designated activities to perform. They are the sum and substance of Krishna, no different than Krishna, but they have things to perform. So, to make a long story short, in higher regions, way up, the time is different than down here. I'm sure you've heard the pastimes of when King Indradyumna went to visit Lord Brahma from this planet. He goes to Brahmaloka. He was commissioned to install the first Lord Jagannath. You all familiar with this pastime? Most of them know this pastime. King Indradyumna goes from the earth planet to get Lord Brahma to lead the installation of Lord Jagannath. I know you've heard some. Anyway, because he was a great devotee of Krishna, he followed orders. He wanted his kingdom to be peaceful, etc. So he goes, he's able to, on his devotion, he's able to go to Brahmaloka and petition Lord Brahma to come to do the installation of Lord Jagannath. And that took a certain amount of time. But he was warned that when he returned, things would not be the same. So he went. It's just like we go today. We go downtown Atlanta, do our business, and come back. When he came back, everybody he knew was already passed away. Nobody even knew who he was. His so-called kingdom was really totally different. But of course, it's a long pastime. But he was so dedicated that he continues that mission to get Lord Jagannath installed. But the point I'm bringing out is that time is relative. And so the higher regions, the time frame is different than where we are in this material world. I'm just going to wrap up with a short sentence here. The Puranic description was never intended to illustrate the way in which we perceive the earth. The Puranic description is intended to depict the way in which various kinds of qualified beings perceive the earth. By qualified beings, we mean those that are equipped with an advanced technology that enables them to exploit higher dimensional space. So we don't have much of that equipment available to us nowadays. They're trying like anything to get their hands on this type of thing, but they can't. And so, for the most part, in general, people don't even discuss other planets and life there and what goes on because they have no idea, no clue. But the Bhagavatam just kind of basically hurdles over that and gives us information about different planets, about different beings, with always the same focus. You got to get detached from those three material modes. As long as you go on allowing the three material modes to affect us, we're going to take birth after birth. Sujato me shanir marbi, flav yamana rasam dusa, atatra kim anushteyam, ashmavi surgayotitai, Yasyatham hridaya asam sa isho vidahatu me. Brahma thought, while I have been engaged in the process of creation, the earth has been inundated by a deluge and has gone down into the depths of the ocean. What can we do who are engaged in this matter of creation? It is best to let the Almighty Lord direct us. Purport. The devotees of the Lord who are all confidential servitors are sometimes perplexed in the discharge of their respective duties, but they are never discouraged. They have full faith in the Lord and He paves the way for the smooth progress of the devotee's duty. So this verse illustrates right away the thinking of Lord Brahma. He is the engineer of the universe. So he's not like the typical person. Very, very erudite. He has so much knowledge. But here's a situation he did not know what to do immediately. Did not know how to handle it. Because the things he had put in place, he was meditating on different processes, things that he had to do. And when this happened. So how do you get the earth back into orbit? That's not a small thing. Not a small thing to consider. So he knows what to do. He's got to ask Krishna. That's the first thing we do. So we can take this example. If we're perplexed about something deeply, we have Guru and Gauranga to approach. Anything that really perplexes us, really we have a question. How am I going to handle? I don't see any way to handle this. What to do? Guru and Gauranga. And of course you have the Shastra always available. Text 18. Itya vidya yato nasa vivaryat sahasanaga Varaha toko niragad agasta paramanaka. Translation. O sinless Vidura, all of a sudden, while Brahma was engaged in thinking, a small form of a boar came out of his nostril. The measurement of the creature was not more than the upper portion of a thumb. No purport. You can hold your thumb up. Something about this size came from the nostril of Lord Brahma. He's sitting meditating. So, if that, of course, if that happened to one of us, we go nuts. What is this? But Lord Brahma is way beyond that. Anyway, there's no purport. Text 19. Tasya vipasyata kasta shanena kila bharata gajamatra prabhavat vride tad abhutam abhun mahat. Translation. O descendant of Bharat, while Brahma was observing him, the boar became situated in the sky in a wonderful manifestation as gigantic as a great elephant. Thumb, we see the thumb coming, and within a moment, that thumb is the size of an elephant, and it's in the sky. It's not affected by gravity. Everything we know and do is affected by gravity. So you get the picture here of what is happening when Lord Varaha first appears. Again, no purport here. Marichi pramukar viprai kumarar manuna saha dristvatat sokaram rupam tarkayam asa chitrada. Translation. Struck with the wonder at observing the wonderful boar-like form in the sky, Brahma, with great brahmanas like Marichi, as well as the Kumaras and Manu, began to argue in various ways. So here we have the transcendental senate of earthly activities. They're deliberating. What is going on? What do we do? Nowadays, we only have imitation of those activities. Because number one, in the Kali Yuga, very little government reference to actual real Shastra. The governments are not interested in religion. They take it as sentiment. They have some sentimental feeling. Need something to lean on. We know better. Text 21. Kim etat sukara vyajam satvam divyam avaspitam aho bhattascharya idam nasayame vinishritam. Is this some extraordinary entity come in the pretense of a boar? It's very wonderful that he has come from my nose. Text 22. Dristam gusta siro matra shanat gada shila sama apiswit bhagavan esha yajño me kvedavan mana. First of all, this boar was seen no bigger than the tip of a thumb, and within a moment he was as large as a stone. My mind is perturbed. Is he the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu? Purport. Since Brahma is the supermost person in the universe, and he had never before experienced such a form, he could guess that the wonderful appearance of the boar was an incarnation of Vishnu. The uncommon features, symptomatic of the incarnation of Godhead, can bewilder even the mind of Brahma. Text 23. Iti mimasatas tasya brahmanas asunumi bhagavan yajña purusho jaga jagrinda sanibra. While Brahma was deliberating with his sons, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, roared tumultuously like a great mountain. Anyone heard a mountain roar? does that sound like? Anyone have heard a mountain roar? Apologies. That's not a mountain. That's me with a microphone. That's all it was. Me with a microphone. So don't be scared. When you get close to it, this is for the little kids. When you get close to a microphone and you cover it, you can make a tremendous roar. I'm going to do it again, so get ready. 1, 2, 3. Tricked you. That was a whisper roar. I wouldn't subject you to the second. But that's what happened when Lord Brahma saw what was going on with this boar that was the size of a thumb, rises up, he expands like a huge rock, like a mountain, like an elephant. He's so big, so really big. And he's up in the air. And not only that, now he's making some noises. It's got to be Vishnu. Lord Brahma immediately came to the proper conclusion. Again, in Kali Yuga, we don't think like that. Like, who's behind? Is the Russians sending a missile over here? What happened? Let's go to the next verse. Text 24. Brahmanam harasyasam asa harishtamscha dvijotamam swagajititena kakuka Partwisvanayata Vibhu. The omnipotent Supreme Personality Godhead enlivened Brahma and the other highly elevated Brahmanas by again roaring with his uncommon voice, which echoed in all directions. Don't worry, I'm not going to try to illustrate this again. Purport. Brahma and other enlightened Brahmanas who know the Supreme Personality of Godhead are enlivened by the appearance of the Lord in any of his multi-incarnations. The appearance of the wonderful and gigantic incarnation of Vishnu as the mountain-like boar did not fill them with any kind of fear. Although the Lord's resounding voice was tumultuous and echoed horribly in all directions as an open threat to all demons who might challenge his omnipotency. So, a couple key points. Lord Brahma and his sons, the devotees, they weren't afraid of this because they know the prowess of Lord Vishnu, what he's capable of. They actually felt even more secure. Whereas the demons, when they hear this, they become very fearful. And rightly so, because an incarnation like Varaha can take care of business quite easily. Text 25. Nishamya te gargat ritam swakeda sharishnu maya maya sukarasya janastapasata nivashinaste Tridi Pabritar Munayo Grinam Sma. Translation. When the great sages and thinkers who are residents of Janaloka, Tapaloka, and Satyaloka heard the tremendous voice of Lord Boar, which was the all-auspicious sound of the all-merciful Lord, they chanted auspicious chants from the 3 Vedas. What do? We try to make it to our fallout shelter. We're getting bombed. Of course, nowadays, they realize what good is a fallout shelter. You're going to get bombed, you're going to get bombed. But the Devatas, you see what goes on in the higher worlds. We have no access to the higher worlds at this point except through Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srimad Bhagavatam, just a reminder, as we said in the beginning, is not concerned with any nonsense speculations. This is actual fact. When you want to deal with facts, what goes on in the higher regions, what they're capable of, we couldn't even imagine. Anyway, Srila Prabhupada gives a purport here. The word Maya Maya is very significant in this verse. Maya means mercy, specific knowledge, and also illusion. Therefore, Lord Bor is everything. He's merciful, he's all knowledge, and he is illusion also. The sound which he vibrated as the Bor incarnation was answered by the Vedic hymns of the great sages in the planets Janaloka, Tapaloka, and Satyaloka. The highest intellectual and pious living entities live in those planets. And when they heard the extraordinary voice of the Bor, they could understand that the specific sound was vibrated by the Lord and no one else. Therefore, they replied by praying to the Lord with Vedic hymns. So we can see how to really behave. If we're, again, back to if we're disturbed in this world by anything, what do we should immediately do? Call out to whom? Krishna! Because Krishna is everywhere. He can save us in any circumstance if he so chooses. So we should always think, if something is going to happen, call out to Krishna. I'll give a little tiny, insignificant, personal story. Happened some time ago on Sankirtan. I shouldn't even bother, but I'm on Sankirtan and I was at an intersection where across the street was a private, little mansion, and it had a big, a mastiff. This is a type of dog. It's a breed of dog. It's a big mastiff, and it was totally black. And this dog would come down and bark all the time when we go near the sidewalk. And I was very much afraid of this dog. I have to admit, I was very much afraid. So at one point, when he came down to my area, I was thinking, Krishna, Krishna, and I actually called out to Krishna like that. But the dog was not moved. And I was thinking, Krishna, what am I going to do? Because I had to come down again to that same spot. So I went up the sidewalk and came back. Again, this mastiff comes down by the gate. And by the way, the gate was not closed. It wasn't locked. He could come right out. So I'm thinking, what am I going to do? And somehow, when it happened again, I didn't say Krishna. I just said, Nrsingadev! And the dog went away. Went back up to his house. And I was and am still very naive, but I saw firsthand the potency of a transcendental vibration. And I kind of shared it with some of the other brahmacharis I was with, that I now know how to, handle a dog. You just, yell out Nrsingadev. I'm not telling you to follow suit, but I'm telling you the power of a transcendental sound vibration. So we can see in the higher realms, they immediately knew what to do. And they started reciting the Vedas. They started reciting this. We don't have access in the Kali Yuga to the Varaha.Everyone. It's mentioned in the 12th canto. There's a summary study of all those books. And the Varaha.Everyone has 24,000 shlokas in it. Srimad Bhagavatam has only 18,000. So the Varaha.Everyone is a very in-depth book. We simply don't have it available except quotes that we've been given in the Kali Yuga. But anyway, the sages on Tapaloka, Janaloka, and Satyaloka began to vibrate these hymns. Continuing. The highest intellectual and pious living entities live in those planets. And when they heard the extraordinary voice of the Bor, they could understand that the specific sound was vibrated by the Lord and no one else. Therefore they replied to the Lord with Vedic hymns. The earth planet was submerged in the mire, but on hearing the sound of the Lord, the inhabitants of the higher planets were all jubilant, because they knew that the Lord was there to deliver the earth. Therefore Brahma and all the sages, such as Bhrigu, Brahma's other sons, and learned Brahmanas, were enlightened, and they correctly joined in praising the Lord with the transcendental vibration of the Vedic hymns. The most important is the Brihad Narandiya Purana verse, which is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Do I need to repeat? What is it? Hare most important. And here it says verse, but we know it's even beyond what we know as a verse. I'm going to have to usher along here, try to finish up. I'll read the translation, text 26. Playing like an elephant, he entered into the water after roaring again in reply to the Vedic prayers by the great devotees. The Lord is the object of the Vedic prayers, and thus he understood that the devotees' prayers were meant for him. Purport: the form of the Lord and the shape is always transcendental and full of knowledge and mercy. The Lord is the destroyer of all material contamination, because his form is personified Vedic knowledge. All the Vedas worship the transcendental form of the Lord, and the Vedic mantras, the devotees request the Lord to remove the glaring effulgence because it covers his real face. That is the version of the Upanishads. The Lord has no material form, but his form is always understood in terms of the Vedas. The Vedas are said to be the breath of the Lord, and that breath was inhaled by Brahma, the original student of the Vedas. So this transcendental sound vibration is very important because it enlightens us to reality. Remember, that was Vyasadev's intention. What is the highest truth? Reality separated from illusion for the benefit of everybody. That is the highest truth, and that's what we're after. So I'm gonna have to jump ahead. I had a few other shlokas, but we're gonna close out with this is a couple verses from the 12th canto. Again, focused on Srimad Bhagavatam. This is text 11 and 12 combined. From the beginning to the end, the Srimad Bhagavatam is full of narrations that encourage renunciation of material life, as well as nectarian accounts of the Lord Hari's transcendental pastimes, which give ecstasy to the saintly devotees and demigods. This Bhagavatam is the essence of all Vedic philosophy because its subject matter is the absolute truth, which, while non-different from the spirit soul, is the ultimate reality, one without a second. The goal of this literature is exclusive devotional service unto that Supreme Lord. One more verse, we can't cover this purport tonight. The final shloka we're going to read here from the Bhagavatam, 12th canto, text number 18. Srimad Bhagavatam is the spotless Purana. It is most dear to the Vaishnavas because it describes the pure and supreme knowledge of the Paramahamsas. This Bhagavatam reveals the means for becoming free from all material work, together with the process of transcendental knowledge, renunciation, and devotion. Anyone who seriously tries to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, who properly hears and chants it with devotion, becomes completely liberated. Srila Prabhupada ki jai! The blessing from Srimad Bhagavatam is there for everyone. Just hear and chant. Read Srimad Bhagavatam. When you read the Bhagavatam, you're studying. You can read silently or aloud, but you must hear and read Srimad Bhagavatam. And if you do that, what happens? What was the last part of that sentence? You become completely liberated. And that is our goal. Just a short purport by Srila Prabhupada. Because Srimad Bhagavatam is completely free of contamination by the modes of nature, it is endowed with extraordinary spiritual beauty and is therefore dear to the pure devotees of the Lord. The word Paramahamsyam indicates that even completely liberated souls are eager to hear and narrate Srimad Bhagavatam. Those who are trying to be liberated should faithfully serve this literature by hearing and reciting it with faith and devotion. Srila Prabhupada ki jai! Any questions? Yes.
Can you repeat it for us? So you were saying the ultimate truth is?
All the,
How to describe the ultimate truth? Second verse.
oh, from earlier. Let's see if I can find this. The second verse of the Bhagavatam, right? One second. O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisance unto you. I meditate upon Lord Sri Krishna because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of the creation, sustenance, and destruction of the manifested universe. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations, and he is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. It is he only who first imparted Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. By him, even the great sages and demigods are put into illusion, as one is bewildered by the illusory representations of water seen in fire, or land seen on water. Only because of him do the material universes temporarily manifested by the reaction of the three modes of nature appear factual, although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Sri Krishna, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is ever free from the illusory representations of the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth. So, again, this one verse deserves another class. Just one day we'll just cover this first verse and purport, because it's nectar. But in the meantime, you don't have to wait for me. You can go home and open your first canto, first verse, and study it. You can call me if you have any questions. Any other questions? Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Let's give a round of applause for Goparaj for a wonderful class. Today, the Sunday feast sponsored by the disciples of His Holiness Jayapatara Maharaj in honor of his Vyasa Puja ceremony. So I request Goparaj Prabhu and Iskcon Prabhu to come and do the mini arati. And also Jayanti Bhai. So this mini arati is for the pleasure of our Guru Maharaj. And there is another mini arati that the three devotees who just passed away 2 days ago for them. So Santa Chaitanya Prabhu, are you here? So today, the disciples of His Holiness Jayaprakash Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, in honor of his Vyasa Puja, which took place on 19th April, we had only Anukalpa Prasad that day because it was Ekadashi. So today we are actually having the actual feast in honor of his Vyasa Puja. So for our Guru Maharaj's pleasure, I request all the devotees for his better health. We pray to Nishingadev, Radha Madan Mohan, Jagannath Baleswara Mahani and Gaunitai that he lives long and is in good health. Let's pray for him. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One more time. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you all very much. So, we have a couple of announcements. On 10th May is Akshaya Titi. So then this Chandan Jatra begins. There many temples we see the deities are covered with Chandan. They put Chandan on the body of the Lord because it's summer coming, it's hot, so they put Chandan and also camphor together. They put on the body of the Lord. So we're having that. So on this regard, this is Friday. Yeah? Friday. We'll have a very big event here. We'll have a nice prasadam, we'll have kirtan, we'll have some harikatha about glories of Chandan Jatra. So Friday, we're expecting almost like 100 people here. We have to celebrate this Akshaya Titi, so please pencil that date on 10th May. 10th May in the evening, 6:30?
6 o'clock.
6 p.m. we'll start. We'll start with kirtan, then we'll have arati, then we'll have prasadam, we'll have a little discourse, and then we'll have prasadam. And if you have chandan in your home, you can grind it and bring it. Sometimes we have pujaris, they have a nice setup here for chandan. You can grind chandan here also. If you come in the morning or if you come in the evening, anytime you come, you can grind chandan and that chandan, that sandalwood pulp will be offered to the deities. Every day when they have morning worship, they will offer to the deities. So it's a very nice festival, Chandan Jatra. And then on May 4th is Saturday, is Bharutini Ekadashi. So on that day, we are celebrating Prabhupada's Super Saturday. Prabhupada's Super Saturday. The first Saturday of the first month, we dedicate the Saturday to our founder, Srila Prabhupada. And we have Guru Puja, we have Prabhupada speaking directly, and then we also bring the Prabhupada's Murti there and we have Guru Puja for him. So you can all come here in the evening, start from 6 to 8 p.m. There will be a nice discourse by Srila Prabhupada, Guru Puja, Kirtan, and then there will be Mahaprasad at 8 p.m. And also, because that is Ekadashi, it should be followed by Ekadashi Kirtan. So that's Super Saturday on the 4th of May. And the Prasad will be served, which is Ekadashi. Ekadashi Prasad, Anugala Prasad. Then 18th Saturday is Mohini Ekadashi. Then 19th is Sunday, Jagannath Snan Jatra. Hari Bol. Jagannath Swami ki. So Sunday, Jagannath Snan Jatra will begin from 4 p.m. Abhishek will start. Everybody will get a chance to bathe Lord Jagannath. So this big deity Jagannath will come out here and we have a big arrangement and you all can come and bathe the Lord. After the today is done, so this starts from 4 p.m. Abhishek, 5 p.m. there is a class, then 5:30 p.m. there will be Maha Arati and 6 p.m. there will be Prasadam for everyone. Huh? That is May 19th, yes. That's Sunday. So you can pencil this date, May 19th, Sunday. Then May 22nd, Wednesday, is the appearance of Lord Narasimhadev. We will not announce the program for this Narasimhadev appearance day today, but definitely next Sunday we will announce it and we will also post it in our groups, in Panihati groups. Then May 31st, Friday, is Nitya Gaura Abhishek, Nitai Gaura Abhishek. That means this is the 50th anniversary of the deities of Sri Gaur Nitai here in this temple. So Prabhupada came here 50 years ago and established the deities, and 50 years we've been maintaining the seva of Sri Gaur Nitai. So let's give a round of applause for Iskcon in Panihati. For maintaining 50 years and serving these deities so nicely. Prabhupada said, what he said, I think some of you know, that now Gaur-Nitya has come to your country. Gaur-Nitya has come to your country, now you take care of them. So since that day, the devotees of Atlanta Jatra is taking care of those deities. We especially really thank Balavanta Prabhu, and many other devotees like Vir Krishna Maharaj, Sisima Jayapataka Maharaj, and also Hridayananda Maharaj, who actually taken this seva for a long time, and they continue the seva is still going on by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and Parampara. So let's thank all those devotees who are committed to this seva of Sri Gaurnitai and Jagannath Vishwanath and Radha Madan Mohan. Hari Bol. So in this regard, on just 1 second, when? Huh? No, 31st Friday. That's May 31st Friday. So there will be Adivas, and right after Adivas, there will be a Maha Abhishek for the big deities, not the small deities. We will take out the big deities and we'll have very elaborate Abhishek for the deities. And there will be a lot of senior Prabhupada disciples are coming. Sikhi Maitri is arranging a lot of senior disciples of Srila Prabhupada to come here, and they will glorify the deities of Sri Gaurnitai and the 50 years service of Sri Gaurnitai here in Atlanta. And then on June 1st, we will have Panihati Chiradahi Mahotsav. Chiradahi Mahotsav festival, that is on the 1st of June. Generally the Panihati Utsav takes place on Sunday, but this year due to Ekadashi, on Sunday, we will have it in Saturday, Panihati festival. And then on the 2nd of June, we will have Ratha Yatra. Jagannath Ratha Yatra, which is on Ekadashi day. So this Ratha Yatra will take place in downtown. We'll tell you later on where the Ratha Yatra will take place and what time. Everything will be sent to you by mail, by WhatsApp groups, and then later days on Sundays we'll also announce it. What time all the festivities will take place. And in the evening there is always program in the temple ground. There will be always lectures, japa workshop. There will be a booth, different devotees will be setting up different booths. And many senior devotees will come and speak about the Panihati festival. So please take the advantage of it. Okay, that's all for today. And then, as you know, to celebrate any festival, we need help. We need manpower. We need money. And we need a lot of blessings of lot of senior devotees to accommodate such a huge festival. It's a lot of commitment. We have to get a permission from the city to have a Ratha Yatra in downtown. We have to have police to escort Jagannath and to be around the parade. And then we have to invite many devotees from different parts of the world who are going to speak about the glories of Panihati festival. And then there is also required of many volunteers to serve and help with the festival. Like we have card decoration, we have prasadam distribution, then we have deity garlands making, Mahaprasad distribution, and then there will be many devotees who will set up book tables, and there will be many devotees, they have also cultural program in the evening. So there we need a lot of volunteers for cutting up vegetables, cleaning up the kitchen utensils and all that. So we want different help. So for this same, we request many devotees, if you want to volunteer for this festival for 3 days, you please come and see me, or you can see Vedasar Prabhu, you can see Sikhi Maitri Prabhu, or you can see Mahaguna Mataji. And you can give your name. If you have time, if you want to give your name for today, you can come out and we have a book table there. We are taking the names for any help that you want to do in person or any other way. You are most welcome. And to accommodate this festival, approximately we're going to spend almost like $50,000 to $60,000 for 3 days event. Every year we do this. So different devotees, they always help this festival. So we have different opportunities for the devotees to do some seva for Jagannath Ratha Yatra. So if you want to do something, you can say it now, or if you're feeling too shy, you can come and see me, or you can see Sikhi Maiti Prabhu. So we have, there are many sponsorships of programs are there for this Rath Yatra because it's a big event. It's one of the biggest event actually for New Pani Hadidham. Throughout the year there's so many festivals, but this is the biggest festival. So we need a lot of manpower, a lot of help, a lot of opportunity for seva is there. So you take this opportunity and serve. So we have already deity dresses have been covered. So we have Panihati pots. These are Maha pots. Generally they merge whatever leftover from making all the pots, whatever leftover, we put all those ingredients in those 3 pots and we make it into a Maha big pot. So each pot is like a $1,501. So if somebody wants to sponsor, you can go ahead, you can raise your hand, or if you feel too shy, you can come and see me later. So we have, I think one of the disciples of His Holiness Jagatara Sai Maharaj, he already sponsored the Shri Gonita Mahapad. Other than we also go for auction. If nobody sponsors, it goes for auction on that day. So we have one pot sponsor. Anybody else wants to sponsor the pot for Panihati? And then we have altar decoration. There will be decoration, temple will be decoration, and then there will be also, we'll have a new painting for the temple, but the altar will be also decorated, so that's $901. So we have 3 spots, we divided, so this will be easier for the people to sponsor. So the 3 sponsors there, nobody so far have sponsors, so somebody wants to sponsor, you can say your name and you can write your name here. Anybody wants to sponsor altar decoration for $301? Okay. Bhavamai. Haribo. Anybody wants to, there's a Gauritai and Jagannath, Baladeshwar altar left. Anybody wants to sponsor? Okay. Then we have, generally, in those 3-day festival, deity gets a very thick garlands. Big garlands made of rose and many other flowers like jasmine. So if you want to offer garlands for the deities, that is also $900, also divided with $300 for each set of deities. For the garlands, if you want to sponsor the garland, you are most welcome. Anybody wants to sponsor deity garland? $301 for each set of the deities. Okay? And then we have, generally on those 3 days, deity gets new jewelry. Deity gets to wear new jewelries. So if you want to offer some jewelries, it is $901, 3 spot is there. Somebody wants to sponsor deity jewelry? Okay. And then we have Festival of India. Festival of India, they generally set up tents here, booths here. So I personally spend like $12,000 on them. So if somebody wants to sponsor Festival of India, you're most welcome. You can come and see me for that also. And then we have temple decoration. We decorate this temple very beautifully with Jeshwari Mataji and her crew. They do very beautiful decoration for 3 days. So that's a $1,500. So somebody wants to help with the temple decoration, you are most welcome to do that also. And then next one. Okay, then we have Panihati festival. So we generally have 3 kinds of different pots. Generally supposed to be sponsored. It's $351 the large pot, and then we have $201 medium pot, and then $101 small pot. So Sikhi Maiti was telling me that this year, since we are having Abhishek for the big deities on Friday, so he was telling me that we should merge the $200 pot and the Abhishek together. It's $501. So we'll have a special Abhishek. The colors are about to come from India, from Vrindavan. They're $301. But including, we'll get a combined package is $501. Anybody wants to sponsor any Kalash Abhishek for the deities? For the Abhishek? If you're feeling too shy, you can come and see me later also. So these are the opportunities are there. But we have many other services also there. We'll put it in next week, next Sunday. So if you want to sponsor anything, please come see me, or you can see Vedasa Prabhu, or you can see Sikimai Prabhu or Mahaguna Mataji. Hare Krishna.
This is for the kids during the class today. Kamlakshi might have given you this packet. So if you have this packet, you can keep the papers, but give the packet back to Kamlakshi so that it can be used for the next weekend, next Sunday. Thank you.
So just like to, this is the last announcement. We are celebrating the lives of 3 devotees who just passed away in a tragic car accident a day before yesterday. So we like to pray for them. They come regularly to the temple and they serve many ways in the temple. So we like to recognize these devotees. They have passed away just 2 days ago. They are Rekha Patel, Sangeeta Patel, and Manisha Patel. So their funeral is taking place tomorrow, April 29th, from 11 a.m. Any devotees, if their families or friends are here, you are requested to go there by 11 a.m. Or you can, for this same, you can talk to whether Amrit Bhai Patel or Jayashree Mataji. You can contact them. What are the timing for this funeral? You can go and maybe do a little kirtan. Maybe we'll also try to go there. So I want all the devotees to pray for them. Please raise your hand, and wherever Krishna keeps them, let them in peace. Please chant Hare Krishna one time for these 3 devotees who just passed away. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. Okay, so now there will be a final darshan of the deities, and the prasadam will be served outside.